Something unsettling hides behind every smiling face in these photos until you stare long enough to see the nightmare beneath. These photos might seem fascinating at first glance, but each hides a dark story, a disturbing truth, or a haunting mystery from the world's most bizarre performers and human curiosities. 1. Mirin Dajo, the Invulnerable Man. And here's where it gets truly unbelievable. Mirin Dajo, a man from the Netherlands, literally let swords, needles, and even long spikes pierce his body, right through the chest, stomach, and arms. No blood, no screams, no pain. Doctors were baffled. X-rays confirmed it wasn't a trick. And the photos. Seeing him standing there with a sword plunged straight through him, calm as if it was nothing, it hits differently the longer you stare. You start wondering, how is this even possible? It's the kind of image that sticks in your head, haunting the edges of your mind hours later. 2. Johnny Eck, the Half-Man. This next one blows your sense of normal right out the window. Johnny Eck, born without the lower half of his body, never let it stop him. But in the photos, there's a surreal quality. Here's half a man walking on his hands beside performers built like everyone else. It's eerily symmetrical, almost like your eyes refuse to believe it's real. And yet, there he is, confident, smiling, acrobatic, performing, tragic and inspiring all at once. You can't help but feel caught between admiration and the unease of seeing someone so different, yet so alive. 3. Martin Laurel, the Owl Man. Just when you thought things couldn't get stranger, Martin Laurel's photo looks normal at first. A man in a suit, smiling at the camera. Then your brain clicks. His head is turned all the way around 180 degrees. He could twist his vertebrae without injury, a trained contortionist performing for stunned crowds. But seeing that calm smile, knowing he's staring directly behind himself, it feels wrong in a way words can't capture. Every instinct rebels. And yet, there he is, standing like it's just another day on stage. 4. Alice Elizabeth Daugherty, the Werewolf Girl. And now, we step into the uncanny. Alice Elizabeth Daugherty, the so-called Werewolf Girl, was born covered head to toe in soft, animal-like hair. The photos capture her staring straight into the lens, curiosity shining in her eyes. Hypertrichosis made her a sideshow attraction, yet her expression is so calm, so innocent, that it almost tricks you into thinking it's normal. But the longer you look, the more the hair, the texture, and the unnaturalness of it all creep into your mind. The human-turned spectacle smiling back at you. 5. Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged girl. And here's one that really lingers. Myrtle Corbin appears in her dress, smiling politely at the camera. At first glance, everything seems fine, but then you notice the extra 2 legs, tiny, fully formed remnants of a parasitic twin. It's subtle, almost easy to miss, yet once you see it, you can't unsee it. Her smile masks a life spent under gawking eyes, performing, and living in curiosity shows. Her portraits turn beautiful moments into something eerie, a reminder of how fascination and cruelty often walked hand in hand in these old sideshows. 6. Pascual Piñon, the two-headed Mexican. And this next one, it's as tragic as it is disturbing. Pascual Piñon became known as the two-headed Mexican. In his old black and white photos, you see a man with what looks like a second face sprouting from the top of his head. But that face wasn't real. It was a cruel illusion. His showman took advantage of a large cyst and covered it with wax and paint to look like another head. Imagine that, turning someone's medical condition into a grotesque spectacle for profit. The longer you look at his photos, the more the sadness creeps in. It stops being shocking and just feels heartbreaking. 7. Pauline Musters, the world's smallest woman. At first glance, she looks like a porcelain doll, smiling sweetly beside people twice, even 3 times her height. But Pauline Musters wasn't a child. She was a grown woman, barely 58 centimeters tall. Princess Pauline, as the circuses called her, traveled the world as a living wonder. In her photos, that tiny frame feels almost unreal, like she's frozen between worlds. But behind that smile was exhaustion, illness, and a life that ended far too soon, just 19 years old. The disturbing part isn't her size, It's realizing how fragile fame really was for people like her. 8. Prince Randian, the human serpent. Prince Randian, born without arms or legs, sits calmly in a photo, performing feats with only his lips, rolling, writing, even lighting a cigarette. His stillness is mesmerizing. Shock gives way to awe, making the image both unsettling and profoundly human. A man mastering what seems impossible. 9. Chang and Eng Bunker, the original Siamese twins. Two men side by side, seemingly ordinary until you see they're conjoined at the chest. Chang and Eng Bunker lived entire lives bound together, marrying sisters and raising 21 children. Their calm, formal portraits haunt, showing not just shared flesh, but a lifetime inseparable, a destiny heavier than it seems. 10. Felix, the Elastic Man. Felix could stretch and twist his skin like rubber, cheeks pulled, neck folded unnaturally. Each photo looks fake, but it's real, the result of hyper-elastic skin. The eeriest part, his playful smile, calm amid impossible contortions, turning each image into a nightmare frozen in time, uncanny, and mesmerizing. 11. Schlitzie, the Star of Freaks. Schlitzie's tiny frame and childlike grin charm at first glance. Born with microcephaly, he became a sideshow star, adored for his innocence. Yet every photo carries sadness, a life exploited for entertainment. Joy and tragedy intertwine in that gaze, unsettling as you realize the price behind the smile. 12. General Tom Thumb, the Little Big Talent. Charles Stratton, in royal attire, poses with kings, radiating pride despite being just over 2 feet tall. Owned by P.T. Barnum, his life was spectacle and confinement. The photos are regal, yet haunting. A tiny man with grandeur on display, yet trapped by the very fame that defined him. 13. Edward Mordrake, the Man with Two Faces. Edward Mordrake, rumored to have a whispering face on the back of his head, haunts imagination. Realistic depictions show a grotesque second smile, contrasting with his calm, human front. Myth or not, the image is nightmare fuel, a visual symbol of inner torment that lingers long after you look away. 14. Minnie Cuckoo, Woolsey, the Bird Girl. Minnie Woolsey, in feathers and a tiara, stares wide-eyed at the camera. Virchow-Seckel syndrome gave her a bird-like face, and her performances mimicked birds. The photos are surreal, whimsy twisted with unease. Look too long, and the image feels alive, hovering between fascination and discomfort, almost ready to move. 15. Frank Lentini, the Three-Legged Man. Frank Lentini poses proudly, but then you notice the third, fully functional leg from a parasitic twin. He performed tricks and played soccer, never hiding it. The photo is strange yet compelling, uncanny and alive, showcasing confidence, skill, and the eerie oddness of a human body that defies expectation. 16. Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. At first, it looks like an innocent photo of a smiling girl, until you notice she's on all fours. Ella's knees bent backwards, making walking upright impossible. That soft smile hides the strange reality, a young girl forced to crawl for the world's amusement. The contrast between grace and sadness is haunting. 17. Annie Jones, the Bearded Lady. Elegant in Victorian attire, Annie poses with a long, flowing beard. The juxtaposition is startling, femininity and facial hair combined in one frame. Each strand seems deliberate, almost defiant. The photo fascinates, unsettles, and quietly rebels against every expectation of what a woman should look like. 18. Fannie Mills, the Big-Footed Woman. At first glance, you see a smiling woman. Then your eyes drop to her massive feet, swelling far beyond normal size from Milroy's disease. Her portraits captured the bravery behind the curiosity, a quiet endurance hidden behind a polite grin. There's something almost grotesque in how normal she tries to appear. 19. George and Willie Muse, the Martian Ambassadors. The black and white photo is striking. Pale hair, ghostly eyes, dressed as aliens. Born albino kidnapped into the circus, they became curiosities. The more you look, the more the spectacle feels cruel. Two brothers torn from their mother, paraded as something not human, their real lives eclipsed by public fascination. 20 Levy-Vali, the trapeze strong woman. Caught mid-air, muscles flexed, Levy looks unstoppable. But here's the twist. She shocked audiences by stripping while performing, challenging gender norms in the 1800s. The photo is electric, almost dangerous. Strength, rebellion, and defiance frozen in a single frame. Look long enough, and you feel the tension she commanded. Each of these photographs tells more than a story. They whisper pain, survival, and fascination twisted into fear. They remind us that what once entertained now haunts history. Sometimes the longer you look, the less human it all seems. So what's your take? Hit like, comment, and subscribe. More unsettling visuals are coming.